Number 7, I always had to travel. I'm living in the Virginia Beach area. I had to go to where the business was, and it was typically New York, New Jersey, because everybody in New York came to Jersey, right? Atlanta, Miami, LA. You know, that was it back then. You had to be there, plane tickets, hotel rooms. If you get my book, you see how much I was spending, $1,000 a week, and just being in the city. You know, you got to be wherever the business is. Have to be able to get relationships with people, because in the music business, they got to like you to do business with you, right? You got to get them in order for somebody to listen to your song, because they're sitting there listening to something you made. You standing right there with them, you know. So if they don't like you, you're done. Traveling in the music business killed me. I got sick and tired of traveling. It's why, hence, I love the real estate business. I get to do business with you personally right here. I don't have to move. All the houses are within driving distance that I'm flipping now, or I'm going to be flipping, or all my rental properties. Every leg of my income is right here in my hometown. Acres of diamonds. I love it. I don't have to go anywhere. That's a big one, guys. I don't have to travel. Number 8, music business, in my opinion, was a destructive lifestyle. What do I mean by that? Everybody drinking, drugging, sexing, people move in relationships, late night in the studios. Get different artists having relationships with their artists, managers messing with artists messing with different A&R people, business, label, promo guys. It's like a big old mess. Everybody's messing with everybody. And then you have a problem where we have a falling out. And that's where business kind of gets real messy, real sticky. I want to tell you about a time I remember working with Spanky, a super producer. I don't know if you recall Men of Vision. Spanky was the lead guy, just a monster programmer making drum tracks, bass player, and a keyboard, and a singer. Good God, Spanky's a monster. He sang that song. In the morning, I'll be your house, baby, and get you ready for work. Let me be your housekeeper, girl. That's Spanky, Men of Vision, that's Spanky. So I was working with Spanky several times throughout my career, and I remember one time it was about 3 a.m. We were mixing a song. We were listening to the song probably 120 times, as is indicative of the music business, right? You got to rewind, play them over and over, listen to stuff, make sure it's right. We were playing the song, Spanky hit play, he told me to hit play, I hit play. As the song started, it's 3 a.m, I just remember dozing off. I'm asleep while we're mixing the song, dude. Spank is over there, he just scoots me over gently, keeps mixing. I'm like, wakes me up at the end. I'm like, man, I'm steadily getting little signs I need to get out of this business. Destructive lifestyle. You don't get to sleep. I remember one time, literally, working, like, okay, for instance, if somebody wants some music from you and they've given you a down payment, and their artists are flying in from another state. I remember one time the people were coming from Texas. We were recording in Atlanta. The music I had wasn't ready. So I had to work in the studio all day, 12 o'clock at noon. It takes 10 hours to drive from Virginia Beach to Atlanta. So I knew the session was the next day at 11 a.m. So I had to be on the road at the latest midnight, at the latest, if I were to drive straight to the studio, which I didn't want to do that either. So I had to work from noon the previous day. I worked all the way from noon to about 8:30 making this music, right? Good God, I remember it like it was yesterday. Worked all day in the studio, got in the car, drove to Atlanta all night, so the clock's going all the way around, drove to Atlanta, got to the studio about 10, right? We left, drove, so now I'm up, I'm 24 hours. The artists, managers there, studio engineers there, they're waiting for the producer, me. I show up, they didn't know that I was awake all day yesterday. They didn't know that I drove all night to get this music to them, and now I have to produce their song, which is gonna take me 12 hours to do. It was 3 songs I had to do. So I'm at the studio 11, had to work all the way down to about 11 a.m. to 12 midnight, so that's another 12-hour shift. I mean, I can't believe I didn't have a heart attack or a stroke not sleeping, which I know guys that do, or that I had. So the destructive lifestyle, you're not creating anything, especially when your songs, and the 3 songs that I did in Atlanta, yes, I got a check, a small check, but then it was never released, you know what I mean? So that's what happens. Yes, why? Hence why I love the real estate business. 9 to 5. Banks open at 9 and they close at 5. Thank God I love it. You got your bank. If somebody's buying a house from me, I promise you they won't be closing at 7, 8 o'clock at night or anytime before 9 because the banks ain't open. Neither are the title companies or the attorneys that are going to close the loans, right? So you just, real estate kind of funnels you in, gives you some structure as opposed to the music business. You could work 24 hours a day, every day, making music, recording songs, recording tracks. It's rough. Okay, moving right along here. Number 9, sexual discrimination. Sexual discrimination. What do I mean by that? Well, in the music business is so subjective. That means it's based on people's feelings and emotions and how a song makes them feel, or perhaps how another person would make another person feel. That person could be an executive. How do you make an A&R feel? And with sexual discrimination, in my experience, I'm not saying this is everybody, but there were times, the majority of times, where whether they could say there was a female that was the person in charge, the A&R or the manager, and they wanted to possibly, we call putting somebody on, use a song from somebody. They were more likely to put a song on or help out another female, or they maybe could relate to another female's music. And I would see discrimination if either it was me or I've seen it done to other people. I have actually witnessed someone else being discriminated in an office. Or it could be a male, say he's a manager. He may not want to put a woman on, put them on, use their song for the recording artist. Or let's say you have a male that's hanging out. They want to be part of the boys, come on in, hang out with us, we'll go get drinks. Or for instance, there could be another one where you have sexual discrimination where sexual preference, or someone has an alternative lifestyle and they don't think that you're walking that lifestyle, and they may not tend to want to hang out with you more, see you in the studio for 10 hours a day. See, in the music business, you're in the studio for 10, 12, 14 hours a day. And people are the first thing I hear people say, man, if I don't like you, if I don't like the same things you like, I really don't want to do business with you. So, if I like girls and you're another male and you like other men, we don't have that in common. So we don't go out after the recording session, or we may not have that circle of friends or circle of influence. So I saw a lot of that going on behind closed doors. Sometimes I was privy to hear it when some music was being played. People would I have heard songs that you cannot believe how beautiful they were. I thought they were just smash hits. Then you hear somebody say, well, who produced that? I don't ever want to hear his music again. I've heard somebody say, I don't ever sing anything from him in here again. It's sexual preference, it's prevalent. Well, from my experience, it was very prevalent. So I know I liked women at the time, so I just would never hung out with anybody, other guys that had different preferences. So it just kind of like they would put other people on with the same preference. And I had seen that so many times. The good thing I like about real estate is no one cares who I like. The title company never sees me after hours, or any attorney, unless they're doing a closing for me after hours, right? The contractors that work with me, they don't call me after hours. They don't care who I'm going out with or having drinks with, or who I live with, or what have you. Any of my coaching clients, they don't care about that. They want me to help them do what? Get that dough, right? Music business. Do I like the way you feel? I like the way you look. I like your hair. Do you like men? You like women? Who you messing with? Another terrible one was with that discrimination was if you were friends with the person that somebody didn't like, or used to date the friend. It's just too much mess. Foolery is what I like to call it. Too much mess going around in the business, and it's like you don't want to, if you're associated with them, they say, I don't know. I don't have time for it. Can you write the check? Can you close the deal? Can you get the job done? That's the only thing I want. That's the only thing I care about. But the music business, there's so many opinions going around. Do you like this? I don't like that. Could be hot. Be hotter. Would you add this? Add that? Bass line too high. Just got tired of it. So I'm done. I got out of it. The real estate business opened me with welcome arms, because at heart, I'm still an artist. I'm still a record producer at heart. So I like to bring that vibe to the real estate business, because there's so many just straight numbers guys. They don't have too much emotion, because real estate investors, we cut out emotion when it comes to a house. So I kind of like to bring some of that emotion to the real estate business, and it's worked for me. It has worked for me, and it can work for you too. If you're an artsy person, come on in. Real estate might be a business for you. I like my lifestyle too, because it allows me to have time to go around, make these videos, dog sit, be a good dad, go to see assemblies at my child's school, hang out with my wife from time to time, go on vacations. Okay, so that's number 9. All right, number 10. Trying to get a meeting with that one person, trying to get that one meeting. I was always under the premise growing up that I've learned is false premise, that if I could just meet that one person, it would change my life, change the direction or the trajectory of my life. And it just doesn't work like that. You have to be the person that you want the world to see you as, right? So in the music business, say if I was in Atlanta working, I would get a call from somebody to say, hey, at the time, it was Sylvia Rome was the big wig at the time. Or whomever, it could be somebody's manager, Cash Money's manager, or I don't know, Ray J's manager is in town for a couple of nights. They're staying at this hotel. You want to go meet them. So we pack up, drive over. Next thing we know, we find out the guy left town early. Or if I flew to New York to get a meet with somebody, come to find out they flew to LA for the weekend. So it's just different stuff. You're always going to take meetings with people, and the meeting may or may not ever pan out. And you're there holding the bag like, here I am in New York again, trying to get music placed. Just a waste of time. The good thing about it, there's several different lenders in real estate. People are competing to do business with you if you have integrity and you're honest and you're giving them a good product. All right. Real estate agents love you because you're paying their bills with that agent commission. People want to do business with you as opposed to shunning you like in the music business. The music business, they have their own projects they're working on. They don't want to hear any new music until their project is on, right? So that's another reason I'm done. Music business, I'm out of it. Number 11, everybody's looking for the next big hit. Everybody's looking for the next big hit. I remember working with, if you remember, P. Diddy had the Hitman. One of the Hitmen, his name was Young Lord, cool dude. He did a couple songs that I know, a whole bunch of songs, but he was working with Fat Joe at the time. I was working with him on some R&B stuff. He had a studio in his house in Queens. And he said, Chris, I'm just like you. I'm just looking for my next big hit. And that kind of stuck with me because I'm like, dude, you a hitman. At the time, the hitmen were doing everybody's stuff. Faith Evans, Mary J, everybody. And when he told me that, I'm like, man, he's like, Chris, I'm just in here banging out just like you, trying to get the next song placed. And I'm like, if you're a hitman and you're still working as hard as I am, and I'm a nobody, I'm seeing you as my future, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be working every day, all day, trying to submit tracks to get placed on albums. I just don't want to do that. All right, 12, too many posers. Too many posers. You never know who's real or not. I remember my boy D Rose sang the backgrounds on the case Happily Ever After. He met a real estate executive years ago, so he thought, at a cookout as one of his family members. The person was actually literally posing as another person. He said he was Poke from this other group, guy named Poke. Come to find out, a month later after Danny tried to meet the guy confessed, hey, I'm not even the guy that I told you I was. So people just want to be big. They want to be bigger than life. They want to be more than they are. Posers is when I used to skateboard. We would say, hey, you're a poser, because people would wear the skateboard clothing, like the Vans and the cutoff shorts and stuff, but they really couldn't skate. So posers would pretend like they looked like a skater, but they couldn't skate. So same thing in music. Everybody was posing because they wanted to be a big wig. You want to be somebody in a business, which I learned it's better to just be yourself. Just be yourself. Now in real estate, we do have posers, but it's quick. I can find out if you're a poser real quickly in real estate. Say if we're doing a venture or we want to do some business together and we have to come up with $50,000. All I do, if you're making an offer to the bank, we just say, hey, send over the bank statements so we can see where the money's being held. Period. Just send over the bank statement. Can you do it or not? If you can't do it, nice knowing you. You don't need to know the money. You can either have access to somebody else. Somebody else is lending you the money. Where are you holding? If you don't have all the money, we just ask, where are you holding the down payment? Where is it being held? Send us a copy of the statement, or we have a verification with the bank. Real simple. In the music business, you can have somebody dragging you around to different studios, showing you, introducing you to people, and they may be nobody. They may just be somebody's cousin. I just got sick of it. And 13, finally, the real estate business is just more fun. It's just more fun because you're helping people. helping people move on with their lives. The real estate business is so much more fun, less stressful than music. I gotta be honest with you, and I'm enjoying my life so much more that I've left all that crap behind. I can be productive, I can be a good father, a good husband, and contribute to my community, helping other people grow and be more financial literate through real estate. I don't know how you're gonna be financially literate through the music business because it's designed to take money out your pocket. All right, so that has been my 13 reasons that I left the music business for real estate investing. I hope this has helped you some. Subscribe to my channel. Help you some to kind of, because I don't know where you might be. You might be in a situation where you're striving to be in the music business and you're cranking out songs. It's so much more to it than just banging out songs, guys. I gotta tell you. I've heard it said that it's 90% the 100% of the music business. Let's say this is all music business here. This is all here, music business. I've heard it said that this little pie, 10%, this little pie right here is music. The rest of the pie, business. All right. So just think about that if you want to stick to the music business. Chris Haskins with the realestateroundup.com. I'll see you next time. Peace.